Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of A Contagious Smile Unstoppable with a lovely, sexy host, Victoria. Yeah, fine. I'm going to say Michael.
You are
Wrong.
sexy vixen.
Negative.
Yeah.
No, that's, I don't binary,
Non-binary.
Yeah, I don't know that polyamorous
Uh,
shit.
Hey, I'm still learning because every time I think I've got it, they add another letter to the community, which we support
Sure.
wholeheartedly. We support it. We have people in our family that are part of the community, but it's like now keep adding letters. Right?
Mhm.
So, all right, if you're in the vehicle and your children are there, turn it down, but come back to this moment. Trust me, you will want to. This is one of those moments that I had to share. I have to share because it's hilarious. So everybody knows the playful banter between my husband and our daughter, right? Okay. So we had frequent a sub shop the other day, and our daughter is in this, what do you want to call it? Like this phase, if you will, of
Funk.
no, it's a phase where she's coming up with like pickup lines and really unusual jokes, if you will, right? I guess. So, and this is kind of just not for children, not suitable for children. Here's your warning. I'll count to three, turn the radio down, but you, as adults, you definitely want to come back to hear it. So, okay. So she looks over to me and she says, "Hey, do men get turned on by talking? Like, is there a, how do I want to say this? Like,
That's all you.
do men get turned on by talking?" And she is a grown adult in almost every aspect. But she's almost legal, 21 here, not too far away, scary. But and she says, "Do men get turned on when you talk to them?" Oh, she's texting me. I apologize, everybody. She said, "No, I said if men get turned on by filthy talk, does that mean that a male's penis is voice activated?" So with that, I literally had to remove myself from the table because it's downright funny. Now, if we heard it from Robin Williams or Eddie Murphy, we would have fallen out laughing. But because it came from our precious, beautiful,
Innocent.
she's definitely not innocent, child, and made it a little different. So then she now has a nickname for men. She calls them Siri or Alexa. And she thinks it's hilarious.
It's not hilarious.
It kind of is, but it's not. And she just said, "Innocent my ass there, Dad," aka Siri, which is not appropriate.
We're having a podcast. Go away.
She knows it's not appropriate for said child to say to said father. However, in general terms, it's. If I had heard that on Robin Williams or Eddie Murphy, I'd have been on the floor cracking up because it's downright priceless. So that's hilarious 101. Yeah. We've been quite busy. Um, as a lot of y'all have heard in the past or may not have heard and you're new, welcome. I will be undergoing in just a matter of a couple of weeks a life altering surgery, not by choice. You would think after like 100 plus that I would get an option of like one of my choosing, maybe a cosmetic one or something. I don't know. But they are going to be, in layman's terms, making my ear like an art piece on a wall. It's there to see, but does nothing. So they're scooping out the ear canal and the eardrum and blah, 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 blah. And I will not even be able to feel vibration. Um, I need a cochlear implant, but my insurance doesn't want to pay the $300,000 that it costs for a cochlear implant. So for now, this side will just be like a piece of art on the wall. Anyway, so we are preparing everything the best that we can. My speech will continue to get affected. My speech is already affected, but my husband starts snoring right now, and it's recorded. This is going to be so awesome. But for the longest time, our office was set up where I sat against the left side. And so when him or Faith would come in, I couldn't hear when they would talk to me. And I'm pretty close to 90% deaf in my left ear as well. So this has been a challenge. So my loving husband, we decided to purge and flip the office. And it's so funny because he'll walk by and be like, where's my wife? Where's my, and he doesn't look on the right side now because he's just not used to it yet. But thank you for all that you've been doing to help me get acclimated for this transition, if you will.
And what my wife has failed to mention, y'all, is the reason why she's having this done. And this was over 18 years ago.
You cannot count with flip. 20
18?
years.
20?
20 years.
Okay, I can't count. I'm a little tired.
You were napped.
An hour.
And it was longer than an hour. Hour?
This is affecting your speech already.
That's not funny because it has.
It's pronounced hour.
Hour?
Uh-huh.
Like O-U-R?
No, that's hour.
That sounds the exact same to me.
No, it doesn't.
To me, it does.
I slept for 1 hour.
Continue on. Carry on.
My wife was brutally abused
Abuse is brutal.
during her first marriage,
It's
which caused severe damage to her eardrums, ear canal.
it ruptured both of my eardrums, and one of them has been completely rebuilt. I have a fantastic surgical team, but it keeps just not being able to function. And I wear hearing aids, but they don't work right now. And so both of my jaws have been replaced, and the list goes on and on. You can look at a picture of a body like a skeleton, and there's not one area that hasn't had surgical intervention, if you will, off of a.
Speaking of intervention, what pisses me off is, one, had I married you back then, all this would have been eliminated. But the fact that so many people, so many co-workers that you work around saw this going on and knew that this was happening, and nobody said anything. Nobody stood up for you. Nobody intervened.
A lot of people feel if they intervene, then the wrath will come to them as well. I had a neonatologist.
Or maybe not.
I had a neonatologist who was working on Faith in the NICU. A neonatologist is a NICU doctor. And he threatened her and he slashed her tires. And so there are some people who are afraid to confront an abuser because they're afraid that the abuse will come onto them.
But what happened, the first few days we moved into our home?
No.
We're in a cul-de-sac. There's like 4 or 5 other houses here. We heard abuse going on right next door.
It was the same day we moved in, actually.
And
we were still unhappy.
I didn't know the aggressor from Adam. I don't know what he looked like, but all we heard was the female screaming.
Oh, it was blood girl screaming.
And without hesitation, I went over there. I confronted the guy. Turned out he was a little bitty, Chihuahua guy from Jamaica, but that didn't matter.
Not saying Jamaicans are little Chihuahuas, just this individual person.
The fact was, I said something. I heard something. I saw something. I did something about it. Okay. And I'm not a very big guy. I'm not a fighter.
Are you crazy?
I probably didn't even have a gun on me that day.
We both had.
Most days, both my wife and I, we carry concealed to protect our family and our loved ones.
Absolutely. What are you talking about? You're not a big guy.
But still, I went over there and did something about it. Now, we, hindsight, we didn't know what was going on, until we got over there and I saw a big red imprint on the side of her face. And then we got the law involved and, they separated. So maybe what happened to my wife will never happen to that woman again now that they're separated, And man, that's all it takes, y'all. Men, women, colleagues, co-workers. You say something, just say something,
But then let me throw this at you. What do you do when your own family turns your back on you? Because believe it or not, that statistically happens more times than not.
Right.
Where they're like,
you're isolated.
You're absolutely isolated.
Right.
But it's not just the isolation, it's honestly also why did you make him mad? Why did you stay? why didn't you just give him what he wanted? Why didn't you just make anything easier for them? And in the 20 plus years I've advocated, and I mean, a contagious smell has been recognized globally for many times and have just recently gotten 5 awards just in the last 90 days, um, is because what people don't understand, and I'll say this over and over again, is that it doesn't matter if dinner's on the table at 7. It doesn't matter if the sheets are military pressed. It doesn't matter if the clothes are done and hung up wrinkle free. If everything is done to the letter, let's say, and someone cut your attacker or abuser off on the way home, or maybe his side piece decided not to see him, or maybe he got in trouble at work, or whatever the case may be, he's still going to come back to the house and he's going to take it out on you. It doesn't matter, because when it's like misery loves company, and when you have already established that dominating presence, and you literally make us into a shell where we just internalize within ourselves, and like everything at first is like, I know he didn't just do that, and then it becomes, well, maybe if I did just do this, maybe if I didn't, have the food touch each other on the plate, if I held it different from the kitchen to the dining room table, or why didn't I check his beer to make sure he was almost out, because I should have known to bring him another one before it was empty. And I mean, these are the things that cause physical altercation from one person to the other. And people just don't understand, because they're looking at it from an outsider's point of view, and they want to be so quick to judge. They want to just be so quick to place blame, but you don't ever hear them say, why did you lay hands on her? Instead, it's, right, why did you upset it? Why did you, what happened to, the underdog, right? And I had so much proof and evidence. People actually would come to me and say, why do you have this much proof? It honestly looks a little questionable. And it was, well, first of all, my background, second of all, my training in school, and third, because every time I bring it to somebody of authoritative figure, I'm told, why'd you make it mad? They did nothing. And I wanted to obtain enough evidence so that if the son of a bitch killed me, that nobody could get to my kid, right? I wanted him to never have her. And so this was imperative for me to be able to make sure. So I told people, well, if somebody would do the right thing, guess what? I wouldn't have all this evidence. And that's a big issue. So many people just want to turn a blind eye. How quick it is. And we've learned this so much. And this, people say, what is my biggest attribute and what is my biggest weakness? And I would say both is the same answer. It's my heart. Because if somebody comes to me and needs help, I will break myself into a million pieces to help somebody. And I do it over and over again, and I never want anything in return. But when you ask for anything, I mean, and it's not even something, never monetarily, but you ask like, hey, how about a birthday call to your granddaughter or your niece or your, whatever the case may be, and you can't even get that. But then the minute something else happens, it's, I need this. Why can't you let the past go? Like, why can't you let it go? Why? It's because those are the people who made mistakes. And one of the number one things about a narcissist is narcissists cannot hold themselves accountable for anything. They do not know the term accountability. They don't. And for that reason and that reason alone, they're going to always play the victim and really try to just berate you anyways.
Speaking of happy birthdays, things of that nature, did y'all know that Victoria here is on Cameo?
And it's his birthday.
Listen, folks that you can,
and Pawn Stars.
Whatever. Go on Cameo and look up Victoria Cure and send her a request. Pretty awesome. She got some great quotes.
It really hurts to know that. I really wish people who are so quick to want to not listen and just judge people, Like, you think, for instance, in a common house, let's just say it's a male and female. You have a daughter and a son, and the dad's, the two children are watching dad hit mom, right? This son is learning that that is the manners to which you not only treat your spouse, but it's okay to treat your mom that way. So it's okay for the son to mouth off to mom, right? Because dad's teaching the son the way to be a quote unquote man. And I use the quote man because that's not a man, right?
Also teaching the daughter.
My next statement. And then you're teaching a daughter what's acceptable to have from a man, right? It's acceptable for a man to belittle you and just ruin your self-esteem and your self-worth. And if you were to Google or whatever the case may be, all of my sayings, what's my number one saying? I don't want our children spending their adulthood recovering from their childhood. I mean, that's like one of my biggest sayings I say all the time. Because I desperately made sure that to this day, if we brought Faith in here, she could tell you I've never said anything hurtful to her, right? If she's done something wrong, I would say to her, I love you with all of my heart and soul. I don't like how this was handled, so let's talk about it. I don't scream at her. I've never yelled at her. She knows that because you know what? Those words carry with you forever. Bruises do heal. Broken bones can be fixed for the most part, but those words stay with you forever. Like learning at the age of 9 when your egg donor says that they wish they miscarried you stays with you even as an adult. Like these are things that stay with you forever, right? And it's heart-wrenching. And I never want or wanted Faith to ever say, I have one of those from my parents. And she never has. Never has. When she's done something that was wrong, I would say to her, I love you or we love you. You made a choice. You made a choice not to drink your water because she has kidney disease. So you made a choice not to drink your water. So you chose not to have your phone. You made that choice. I'm not taking the phone away from you. You're choosing to give it to me because you're saying to me that phone matters more to you than the health of your kidneys. So, and we made a rule, and now she's done it perfectly, right? There's a way to do things that's not going to berate our kids. Now, I don't agree with the carrying it like a kid glove, and being so like, you can't do that, but you don't yell at them either, right? You don't.
So let me ask you, as a doctor,
Where? Who?
you,
Oh.
Dr. Victoria, since the so-called man father is training the fat her, the son and the daughter, these daughters are more prone to look for that type of man.
That's all they know. That's their no. Like, how in the morning you get up and you gotta brush your teeth. You gotta put on your deodorant. You gotta put on your shoes, right? That is the type of man that they know and they're comfortable around. So, like, for instance, if you put me around, I don't know, let's say the guy picks up the trash, we're not going to be able to have a conversation about like professional things. I would be fascinated to hear, but there's a lot of things. Like if you put me in front of I know my husband's going to make me eat these words. If you put me around a cardiothoracic surgeon, I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with them along the same. What did you say?
I was talking to Holly.
Like if you put me around a cardiothoracic surgeon, I'm not going to be able to have a relatable conversation. I mean, I know the basics, but I don't know enough to carry on a conversation, so we wouldn't have a lot in common. The daughter is going to have in common what she feels she's accustomed to. Like she's accustomed to the berating and the belittling and the ruining of the self-esteem and the body dysphoria. And so she's not going to go and try to find somebody who's going to treat her the way she deserves to be treated. And that's not okay. That's why you have to break the cycle. You absolutely have to break the cycle.
That answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. What else do you want to talk about? Sleeping?
I'm tired. I don't know. Yeah, but I think it's the heat.
This heat's horrible.
Man, last week it was great. It felt like almost winter. It was
No,
down,
it felt like fall.
down
It
in
didn't
the
feel like
80s.
that's not winter.
And now it's back up in the 90s,
That's not
95,
winter.
96.
I won't go outside. It's horrible. We had to go out and get groceries, and I'm like, I mean, it's horrible outside, and it's just like thick air. It's not just,
We did go out Saturday though.
we did. We went back to the range
We
and went
went to that-
shooting again. Family who shoots together.
That place that sells sub sandwiches
Yes.
created by firemen.
Firehouse. You call out
And
the
then we went out to the shooting range because it's enjoyable as a
therapeutic.
family.
right. And I think it's very important that kids know, not kids, well, yes, kids, but like,
Well, Faith's
how
a
to
young
She's
lady.
almost legal. She's almost
She's
21.
legal.
She's almost 21. I mean, it's close enough.
Yeah.
But she needs to know how to handle
Safely.
child, right? But it's the whole thing. People say guns kill people. People kill people. That's like so many people. Honestly, babe, asked me why I always carry knives. Why do you carry knives? You've been stabbed a dozen times. The knife didn't stab me. The person holding it in their hand stabbed me.
And she has like 309 shell.
Yes. One of the things I trained, growing up is throwing stars and throwing knives. And I love them. It's not the knife's fault. That's like saying, okay, I got bit by a dog, so I'm never gonna have a dog again, right? That's just stupid. I mean, if that's the case, I'd be like the, old lady sitting there living by myself with 100 cats, which I'll never do.
No.
No cats.
We
No
will not
cats.
have any more cats.
No, you ruined that. I'm just not a cat person. I don't like cats. I mean, if you love cats, hey, more power to you. I'm a dog person. No way, shape, form, or fashion is any animal going to replace my stucco and Rusty.
My daughter and I came home one day, and there was a feral kitten in our garage. And
Ladies and gentlemen, this little kitten could have fit in the palm of your hand. It was tiny.
it was really tiny.
You saw on a stuffed animal selection of a story, you'd be like, oh, that's so cute. I don't like cats, but I still think kittens are cute. This was a cute little kitten.
But let me emphasize that it was feral. Excuse me. And I'm a small guy.
What? You're small.
I'm 6'1", 283 pounds.
It's not 6'1".
I'm 6'1".
6'2", 6'3". But
Anyway, I thought I've been a canine officer, y'all. I thought I could handle this baby, cute little
tiny fit in your hand.
feral kitten. Hell no. Was I wrong? Picked up that little bastard. And it ate me alive. Okay? I'm talking all 16 claws dug in deep, bit me 8 times on my finger. I could not shake the little shit off of my hand. I'm screaming, get this demon off of me. My daughter is bent over, probably pissing in her britches by now. She was laughing so freaking hard. I'm shaking the shit out of my right hand, trying to get this kitten off of me. I can't get it off. I finally run out the garage door and it lets go, or I sling it off or something. I mean, it tore me up, y'all.
Faith just told me to tell you, boo-hoo, crying you a river. And she said to make sure we tell our audience that there were no puncture wounds.
Oh, there was blood, guts, and
We see no puncture wound. Little kitten didn't even get into your skin.
oh Lord.
And it was hilarious.
So no more cats. Yeah,
She just said you're a wimp.
that's my daughter. The little narc.
Nard.
He is a narc.
Nard.
She ratted me out so many times tonight.
Okay, but that was justifiable.
No.
So do you think she's a mama's boy or a mama's girl or a daddy's girl?
She's mine.
Out of your mind.
Well, that's beside the point.
That is mama's girl all day long.
So my wife referenced one of her 41 books, Narc, Who's There, which is a prequel to Who Kicked First. You can find both those on Amazon. Y'all go check out her memoir. Get to know my wife a little bit better.
You have glasses on, so let me see if I can read this. Hey, Faye, can you come read this out loud? Because I don't have my glasses on.
All right,
It
this is how
says,
y'all can stop the podcast.
girl. This mama's. She says she's mama's. No, what she says is when she's good, she's mine, and when she's bad, she's yours. That's what she says. And people who listen to the radio like so loud that it shakes the vehicles next to you, you're gonna go deaf. And let me tell you, from someone who has had hearing to someone who doesn't, it sucks.
Thank you to everyone who has joined my what?
No, you're talking because here comes
Can I finish? Thank you. Everybody who's joined Mighty Networks and the Academy. We see you. I just haven't got around to welcoming each and every one of y'all.
How's he sleeping?
Because I'm working for a living. But we see y'all. We see that y'all taking some of the classes. There's been quite a bit of y'all taking classes here in the past 2 weeks. We'd like some feedback on those courses that y'all have taken. So send us a response.
So what's up, girly girl?
I'm a mama girl all the way.
You're a mama's girl all the way.
Now I'm his.
That's every day.
No.
You're a stinker rat every day.
So what did you want to tell everybody to call him if they ever saw him out?
No, negative. Goodbye. Close the door. Go out.
No.
Coke fan.
Can we go? Turn this off. Thank you for listening to Unstoppable. Yes. I'm gonna leave.
Stop. Hey, today's Scott Hamilton's birthday.
Well, Scott,
Happy birthday.
he was on our show here a few months ago.
He's a stand-up nice guy. Like he was somebody I watched with my grandparents. Loved him. What a personality. Just such a fun guy. And he was just nice as can be. Just seriously as nice as can be. All right. Say bye, Faye. Adios. Adios. But you know what? They wouldn't trade each other for nothing. And it's so she does not. Because all she does is great. All she does when she does something,
Don't say it.
She'll like lift her sleeve up a little bit and show the tattoo that she got dedicated to him. And then he's like, never mind.
Do I really sound like that?
Yes. I can't
Sounds like
do
a
it.
grumpy old bear.
You are a grumpy old bear. You're a totally grumpy bear. Absolutely grumpy bear. Yes. So tell me what they're doing in downtown Atlanta now. What is all this you were telling me earlier? Like, we didn't get to finish this conversation.
Oh, I normally go on my throne and sit there and TikTok because, I'm creating a masterpiece, y'all. It takes time. Okay. At least till my legs fall asleep. And I saw where the cops are going in big squads alongside a garbage truck and removing all the homeless items.
Is this AI generated or is this real?
I only saw one video.
Well, Trump is doing it through DC, where no homeless people can be on the streets at all.
So, and it's going to go around the major cities for what I know. What I heard.
So, what are they doing with the individuals?
They either get relocated, arrested, they get offered assistance to do whatever. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go. But I know as a taxpayer, I'll probably be floating their bill.
What do you think should happen to them?
If they get incarcerated, then I'll definitely float their bill.
Why is it that people who are incarcerated get treated better than our elderly and assisted living?
I wonder how many times they fell off of credit cards, right? And got better credit than we do.
Well, I mean, just think about it. In jail, they get free healthcare. They get education, 3 squares a day, room and board, right? Even though, but elderly don't get that. If they need something and they don't have a proper insurance, I mean, the rate of like sexual assault in assisted living homes is insane. It's
I don't
ridiculous.
want to do that.
And the fact that they get bed sores and everything else because they're not even turned as they're supposed to be. And it's ridiculous what they and how they're treated. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, I saw that firsthand when my grandmother was in the nursing home, and my great grandmother. That was even. I was young type back then. 9, 10 years old. Used to go visit her, and yeah, we saw it back then.
Nobody could do anything.
I don't think
You don't
they
recall.
wanted to. What? And I hate to be morbid, but a lot of them was why bother? They're only going to be here for a couple months.
Well, I'm sure this is either going to get us more listeners or make quite a few leave us. But here's my thing. Now it seems as if the sentencing is even getting easier and less strict when it comes to like hard crimes. People who have committed murder, they plead down and said a murder 1 or murder 2. It's whatever, and then they spend a few years and they bitch, moan, and complain, and they're out. Right? What about the person who's died? They don't come out and raise from the dead, right? So why is it now that the sentencing is so just? How come you can just be like, blink an eye and you're basically done? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then, the thing is, when you have gone through something that is a violent crime yourself, you might change your opinion, but I don't believe that it's fair. Now, before everybody gets judgmental, again, hear me out. I don't think it's fair. Let's say, just for this purpose only, some piece of garbage, hands down, no hung jury, no questionable reasonable doubt, 1,000% proven guilty, not a doubt, right? Kills an innocent child. Okay. And I mean, however it's done, it's done. And then the person says, I don't want to go to death row. I shouldn't have to be put to death. What about that little individual child? Right? What about that child? Did that child get that choice? That child's never going to graduate. That child's never going to have their own family. They're never going to get married. There's always things this child is never going to get the opportunity to do. I think that the option should be there to say, I'm going to take you off of death row because that's inhumane. What about what they did to the child? Right? Then, if you do go to death row and you are pushed to death and you're laying there and you get IVs and you're put to death in lethal injection, they want to say that's inhumane. Let's go back and look at what happened to that child. Okay? Seriously, think about it from this point of view. God forbid it was your child. Are you saying that you think lethal injection is not okay because that's inhumane? But what about this baby? What about this child? How is that okay? I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, so many people are against lethal injection because they say it's inhumane to do so to someone. Babe, what are your thoughts?
So I'm just you got me curious as far as lethal injection. Says here one department spent $900,000 on a single dose of this whatever 90-day shelf life medicine or I don't know what you call it.
It's one of the 3 components.
Right. $900,000 on a single dose with a 90-day shelf life.
Right. Well, I mean, what are your
That's crazy. And so that's the state paying for that
okay, right.
to go into someone who's going to die. How much was given to the victim?
No, and I'm not talking about monetarily. I'm talking about the pain and suffering this child endured, and then the criminal
Right.
has the audacity to say it's not humane for me to be killed by lethal injection. I shouldn't be put to death, right? So we have to keep funding for you and paying your taxes, paying for your housing and your education and your food and yada yada yada. But what about this child? What about the family? What about the parents? And then people say lethal injection is too inhumane. What are we supposed to do? Powder puff their face? Like just put a little powder on their nose and, but then we're going to be contaminating their lungs and that's inhumane. So, I mean,
You know my thoughts.
well, I would like to discuss this
The
because
punishment,
it irritates
the
me
punishment should fit the crime.
that, perfect example, everything I've been through. Let's just take me as an example. I'll be the scapegoat here. Everything I've been through. That son of a bitch hasn't had 1% of any of this happen to him. Nothing. Scot-free, right? Openly has murdered people, right? And not in self-defense, not under the blanket of the military, which I thank everyone for their service, not under those clauses, has murdered people. And he's gotten away with it. I am physically altered in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't supposed to be here. Faith wasn't supposed to be here. He's walking around scot-free. I mean, and I've never sought revenge, and I never will, because it's not mine to give. Let me just put that out there, right? I've never gone to his place of employment or his residence or anything like that where he's going to sell. Not, and never will. The point is that why is it that that's when they say, that's inhumane, I shouldn't have to do that. Or they say caging, they call it caging, when you cage somebody instead of incarcerating them. When you have someone who has hurt a young child or a woman or whatever, how can you not call it caging? I mean, is a normal, I hate the term normal, human being, for a lack of term, capable of doing this to a young child? Because you and I couldn't fathom hurting a kid. Never, right? We would give our life to protect a child, but we would never hurt a child. So why do people get up in arms when you say they're being caged? And I've never said that. I've never said that. I say this person's incarcerated. But other people who protest it say we are caging our prisoners when that's inhumane. But what about the acts of what they've done? I mean, as a former officer, a former jailer, a deputy, canine, how do you answer that? I mean, I'm going to get hate mail, and that's fine. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. But if it happened to you or your child or a loved one,
that's a different story now, right?
you're gonna, And I'm not saying that anybody who is innocent deserves this, not at all. But if somebody has tried to kill you or kill your child, and you know what, even sexual assault, they're still taking away some part of you that you will never get back, ever. And they get to walk around and say, okay, well, I served 8, 10, whatever, months, years, whatever. That chapter's behind me. I promise you this. Those chapters are not behind us survivors. We learn a whole new way to live life. We learn a whole new way how to function on a daily basis. And we don't get to close that chapter and put it on the shelf and say it's behind us now. That doesn't get to happen. So how is it that you see as an officer that people can take that stance?
Let me ask you, did you ever see the movie with Jim Carrey, Lemony Snicket's?
No.
A series of unfortunate events?
No.
So he attempted to get the inheritance of the Baudelaire kids. And he put them through several tragedies, so to speak, to off them, right? But in the end, the judge found him guilty and ordered him to go through the same thing that they went through. So in that instance, the punishment fit the crime, right?
Okay.
And to me, that I think that's what should happen. If you violently rape and kill a child, okay, buddy, guess what? is coming your way. All right, that's just the way I am. And I'll probably get hate mail. You know,
But here's the thing: if a pedophile, for people who aren't or haven't been in the law enforcement community, try to like pat their chest and I'm this bad, guy, whatever. I'm just Billy Badass, whatever. And he takes the innocence of a child. Why is he so afraid when he goes in jail? Like, he goes into his own area. They don't put him in Gen Pop. They put him in solitaire because he will be destroyed in Gen Pop. But he goes out and complains that pedophilia, they don't have anything to help them when they get out, that there shouldn't be a sex registry, that there shouldn't be, I think there should be a domestic violence registry, to be honest with you. Yeah. I really do. Because, I mean, if there's a sex registry, why can't there be a domestic violence registry?
I was in the jail for 4.5 years, and every one of the inmates that I had to take care of that were pedophiles, they were isolated. They were off in a separate pod with just those pedophilia.
And all they're doing is learning each other's secrets.
That's right. And it was no more than the two guys to a room, obviously. But
they weren't going to do anything to each other because they're not turned on by that. So you can put them in a whole room with all those people. Right.
They weren't over at Gym Pop with the other fathers. So why, I don't know, as officers, we're not condoning that, but why protect them?
They were protecting our kids.
That's right. They're in jail. If they go in jail and they get,
all you're doing by putting them in
a blanket party, so to speak.
Like the soap in the sock thing.
Yeah.
But if you're going in there and you're putting them with other pedophiles, they're learning their other secrets and their other tricks and trades and things of that nature. And then they get out, and guess what? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go try this. Let me try it this way. Maybe I won't get caught this time.
And they don't think it's fair that they should go on a sex registry. I mean, where is it safe for our kids now? I mean, even in the last week, it seems like every day we have been getting news reports of there was a mass shooting in Target, there was a mass shooting in a Walmart, there was a mass shooting, at a restaurant, there was a mass shooting at the CDC. Well, I can understand that a little more than the Target, or Walmart. I mean, there should be no mass shootings. When we grew up, I don't ever recall any mass shootings, right?
I think Waco was the first one.
I was going to say, I thought Waco was like the first. But everywhere and every day, you're hearing about this craziness of people just going out and shooting innocent people who have done nothing to them. And it doesn't seem like it's ever stopping.
Well, Michael and Victoria, y'all just stated that y'all went out shooting with the family.
Because we're going to defend ourselves. And we're going to protect our family. And we have the constitutional right to do so.
That's right.
Right? We have the right to bear arms. We have the right to defend. And I am not going to be, I've had a gun put to my head. The only thing that didn't happen, thank God, was the trigger didn't get pulled. And I'm telling you, shit. Sorry, you come out here one of my family. That's it. That's it. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You should absolutely, without a questionable doubt, have every right to protect you and yours.
And just in case something ever happens and either one of us are incapacitated, then our daughter
Lashot,
she is trained. She knows how to handle the firearm. And even the range master, one of the range instructors, came over to my wife and said, what did he say?
She's a natural.
She's a natural.
How
long has she been shooting?
She's shot 2 separate occasions. She's doing headshots. She gets it from me. She was center mass, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. She did do a few headshots below the belt, ladies. You know what I'm talking about? Easy. I mean, she nailed the headshot. She got center mass. I mean, she even got a hand shot. I was like, make a smiley face. And I don't think she understood what I was trying to say from behind the glass at one point. But I mean, For someone who has never shot before, she gets it naturally. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I'm so proud of her. And she's getting a little cocky about it. She knows. She knows she can shoot. Like, right? And it's a great thing. Like, hey, we're gonna go shooting, but your room is messy. Watch how fast that gets closed.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely, you know.
And it's just not me loading the magazine for her, loading the firearm. It's going through everything. It's her knowing how to load the magazine herself. Okay.
Correct stance, everything.
Position of the index finger, the thumb for the magazine release. She's learning all that safely, and in a controlled environment. And we even have instructors, come by every once in a while. So that I'm all for that as a family, as a group, to train your kids how to safely use a firearm. Uh, by all means, have at it, Hoss.
And
Yeah.
she's strong physically. That kid
She
is
is.
physically strong. I've seen her take grown men down on the ground. And she's proud of it. And she should be. She really should be. Because
She will not be a victim.
she is a tiny little tot. Like,
Mhm.
really. I mean, she's a petite little thing, but she can put you down on your knees so fast that your head will spin. And she's so cute about it because she'll be like, my mom taught me never to start it, but to finish it.
That was your warning.
Right?
Right?
That was your warning. And I've taught her, you don't ever start the fight. You don't ever start it, but you are not anybody's punching bag. And that's the thing, is that if you're in a home and you're watching that as a child, you're growing up watching that, and I hate to say this because anytime my bio parents back in the day, for the short duration of time they were around, decided to get verbally out of line, if you will, to her, I would immediately remove her from the environment, and I got in the middle of it and defended her and made it where they couldn't, belittle her in any way, because that's not what grandparents supposed to do. And grandparents don't make broken promises and promise never to leave and will always be by their side. And and I can't say it's just my side; it's both of our sides. Both sides of our family have, made all these promises. But then, what really gets me is that nobody else sees it. It's only the black sheep that see it. It's only the scapegoat that sees it, because the narcissist turns it around and plays the victim, like, oh, it's all their fault. They won't let me back in their life, right? We are a trauma free zone, trauma free environment. We do not welcome it. We don't allow it. We don't have it. We don't want it. We both had enough in our lives. We're good. My husband looks like he's barely awake.
I'm more awake now.
Now that we're almost done. So our episode not being released this morning at 5 a.m. is my fault. I apologize. Because my husband will tell you that I am this person that I'm not the wife that sits down and does nothing, regardless. Even coming home from surgery, I go right back to work. But so as we were flipping the office around, he was like, don't touch anything. And so he kind of tried to put me in a timeout, which didn't go well in his favor. So when he came back up, I had already unhooked both of I have two computers, and I already unhooked them both and tried to like Popeye them one armed to the other side of the room. And I unhooked all the equipment, and I didn't do it with the best of intelligence because I didn't keep all the cords right where they were supposed to be with each other because it's too much tanglement and I couldn't afford to fall. So I unhooked everything. And my husband, bless his heart, had to like reconnect and refind and kind of like hide and seek, if you will. So that's on me, and I do apologize to everybody that the podcast didn't go out today. It will be out in the morning.
So, regardless of what you may think, I do not know everything my wife is up here doing in the office for 16 hours a day. Darling, are you done receiving the dear silence?
It has slowed down.
Okay.
We're at the point that we really can't take much more, any more injuries, any more submissions. And now I'm like with my 2 surgery procedures coming up in the next 2 weeks. I am really trying to get this ready to go. So it will be out for our launch in October.
So y'all be on the lookout for Dear Silence.
And I will let my husband give a little tidbit. He has seen the cover. He's the only one who has seen the cover for this book. What do you think of it?
It's awesome. Freaking awesome. Really. Really awesome. So y'all please go visit our website and hop on our academy. We'd like to have y'all enjoy everything the wife has put together. There's a lot of, real life experience in there.
Because I don't want to belittle people who have made other courses, but I've taken courses before. I've taken lots of courses, but some of the courses I take have been so dry and so just, how am I going to make through it? I know what my husband's about to say. And so, like, getting through the material is so unbelievably hard. I know what he's about to say. So sometimes it's challenging to get through the course material. And sometimes maybe that's why we just kind of, but my husband will tell you I'm the one that kind of just takes the test on some of them. But this needs to be, the reason the academy is what it is. It's interactive. It's where you sit there and go, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, I know they know exactly where I've been. This is exactly what I've been through, what I'm going through.
And we've heard that from
so many people, right? And I understand, and I want you to know, we are doing a new landing page, and there are a few testimonies on there, but I have asked a lot of people who have said, I want to put a testimony out there, but I'm afraid to because my name would be on it. I told them not to, because as much as I appreciate everybody wanting to offer a testimony on like the Safe Haven Phoenix Center for Abuse, if you're not comfortable doing so, don't. I don't want you to show who you are to anyone, because your confidentiality is my number one goal. I'm having my language issue. My number one priority, sorry. My number one priority is your confidentiality. So if you're uncomfortable, don't put your name on there and say, anything. As I do and my husband does, we totally appreciate the positive reviews. I don't want you to put yourself out there and make yourself worry.
That's right.
So don't do that, as we do appreciate the reviews. So that's why there's not as many of the reviews out there for that, is because I tell people it's about your safety, right? And I think the courses do talk for themselves. They do really explain themselves.
A Contagious Smile, Unstoppable with Victoria and Michael. Go visit our website, please. Jump on the academy. It's free. Check out some of the courses. Check out all of them. And then let us know what you'd like to see. Different, better, indifferent. Your comments welcome. Thank y'all for listening tonight. Bye, y'all.